Bridget is brilliant. The information that she's going to share with you today is really going to open up your hearts, activate these codes, and really help you to understand the essence of being a starseed. So Bridget, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you. I'm so excited. Hello, soul family. Oh, Sheila, yes, we've had so much fun over the last, I don't know how long. I'm so grateful. It's like connecting with someone that I've known for lifetimes.
Great to see you, Bridget, because I've listened to you for hours on Clubhouse, and there you are.
Yeah, here I am. So
Good.
I'm receiving new sight just in time for the Starseed Summit. So if anyone is wondering, yes, that's what's happening right now. Oh, I've just lost Alan, but oh, Alan is actually who found me and brought me into this, and I'm so deeply grateful. And then connecting with Sheila has been amazing.
I'm like a talent scout, Sheila. I look for those hot new people of spirit coming in and try to bring them out to the world. So thank you, Bridget, for agreeing to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It really is. I'm so excited.
Wasn't that last meditation amazing too? Did you hear something?
Oh, and Rita, oh my goodness. That activation was, I mean, it was so deep. It was on so many levels. And I'm so grateful that everyone that is listening now and going to receive it through the replay is going to receive this. I mean, it was just wide open. It hit all of the energetics. I mean, throughout all the layers, it was amazing.
Okay. So do you have a formal introduction for Bridget, or
they have one?
Oh, you have one. You can do a PowerPoint.
They do.
Are you doing a PowerPoint, or are you just talking?
Just me talking.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, whatever. Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're up.
Do you guys want to introduce me, or do you want me to introduce myself?
Well, you probably know more about yourself than we do, but I think those, Sheila, are you there? I just wanted to ask you a question about your connection with Bridget and what really activated you about her knowledge.
You know, when we first started talking, Bridget kind of gave me an overview of who she was and how things came to her, but it's more about the way you've embodied your knowledge and who you are and how you have this gentleness of spirit. Yes, it's very, very strong that you are able to connect with people. Just your voice alone kind of, you know, can put me into a little bit of a trance because it's very gentle, very beautiful, very soothing. But what I notice is that as you speak, you also activate. And so I don't have a formal introduction of you. I have an introduction of your energy and how it's impacted me. And so the audience, you are in for a treat. So, you know, kind of sit back and, you know, just open your hearts up and receive what Bridget has to bring to you.
Oh, Sheila, thank you. Oh, you guys, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm really grateful to be here with all of you. This is an amazing period in humanity's timeline. It's monumental. And what we've labeled it is the Ascension, right? And it's just a label, and it means different things to different people. But how I perceive it is a universal and earth collective agreement to explore and experience expanded and higher realms of consciousness. And I mean, it's amazing. So what that means though is that this is an internal experience that is reflected in our external reality. And that can look like different things for different people. The main thing that I would say is it's time to look within. When we see something within our external reality, it is a signal for us to go within, especially if it is something that we are not resonating with, that does not feel good to us. Because in this time period, humanity has been playing in a lot of collective agreements. And some of those are the illusion of forgetting the veils, the veil of forgetting, the illusion of separation, rather. That's what I call it, because that is actually what my soul team calls it. So with these, in every moment, we have the opportunity to remember who we are at the core essence of our being. And we are infinite creator beings who get to come to a place like Earth that has these unusual ways of existing and experiencing. And as infinite creator beings, we know our place within the cosmos. We understand all of our parallel lives. We are in unity. And so when we come here, we get to forget who we are. We get to play as if we don't know who we are, and we get to bring that in bit by bit, moment by moment, sometimes a lot at once. And we also get to remember our place within not only ourselves, but with one another and our co-inhabitants and Gaia. We are a collective, all of us together, right? So we get to remember our unity with one another. And this is a really cool experience. A lot of us starseeds, we understand and we remember that Earth is not our primary home, right? So coming to a place like Earth, though we have these high intensities, we have enormous emotional bodies, we have really intense and deep polarity and duality, but we also have the experience of that. So we get this really high and this really low to a depth that is not available in most other, I guess I should say, species or races. So it is quite a beautiful thing to be a part of. And I'm really grateful for all of you for being here. Just being is enough. However, we all have specializations, I like to call it. I've heard people recently call them geniuses, which I love. They are our masteries that we bring in from our other lives. And those lives could be on Earth, but most of them are outside of Earth. And we bring these specializations in, and it's important to be mindful and pay attention of what your specializations are. And you can find them surely by looking at what it is that you are almost innately natural within your life. Like for me, there's an emotional mastery that I bring in from many of my parallel lives. We all have a plethora of specializations. They're the tools in our toolkit that we get to use and we get to be in the world that assists us and everyone around us and assists the collective to grow and expand. So thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your specializations in. And I invite you to look within your life and look within all of your interactions and your connections with all of your loved ones and recognize what your specializations are. Because once we begin to recognize rather our genius, then that means that we are doing it in a very conscious way. We are actively embodying. And the active embodiment is super important right now. You'll hear a lot of people right now talking about sovereignty and spiritual discernment and things of this nature. And they're highly important to where we are right now within humanity's timeline. So part of sovereignty is not only understanding that we are creator beings, but also recognizing that everything that is within our reality is being created by us and in our co-creations as well, of course. And we do always hold the ability to shift and change any of our creations. Once it is in the world, we can pull our energetics back from it. We can direct our attention, thoughts, focus, and energy into, and intention, I should say, into something that feeds and serves everyone. So I don't know, I'm very excited about the Ascension. As you guys can see, I just jumped right in. But I really think it's important to remember that we hold all of the power. It's time for us to stop giving our power away to fear. It's time for us to stop giving our power away to other people or other beings. Our star family doesn't want that. They don't want to be worshiped. They don't want to, they're not here to rescue us from our creations. They're here to assist us and guide us and help us in whatever way we are open to. But they will not come in and solve this for us. They will give us solutions to assist when we get to that time period, which is a whole other beautiful rabbit hole that we can go down maybe on Clubhouse. but right now, I think it's important to recognize that within the ascension, we're always talking about 3D, 4D, and 5D. That's kind of where we're oscillating right now as humanity. And most of us actually oscillate between those dimensional experiences within every day. It's very normal and it's very common. But I think it's important to remember that we hold all of the dimensions within ourselves, every single dimension. We are accessing more than just 3, 4, and 5, especially during the time period that we call dreams time. And there are many people who might be accessing 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever in various experiences. And it's because we are these infinite creator beings that we can do this. And this is our soul nature. This is who we are as a being. And just within this dimensional experience, this is how awakening and consciousness expansion can happen, right? Because we're playing in illusions. We're playing in the illusion of separation and forgetting. But when an awakening happens, it's simply opening ourselves up to the light of our soul, right? And when we expand our consciousness, it's bringing more of that soul light into our human existence. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that everyone is following this. I know I've kind of bounced around a little bit, but really the time period that we're in right now is exciting for so many reasons. And yes, I know there are some really intense things happening in the world. And that is because we are right now straddling 2 paradigms. And we've labeled one the old paradigm and one the new paradigm. And really within this old paradigm, there are constructs that humanity's been playing in for a very long time that are no longer serving us as individuals or as a collective. And we are allowing those to deflate. So when we go back into our conscious creation of our reality and becoming aware of what we hold within ourselves, we are able to inflate the new paradigm and deflate the constructs from the old paradigm. So within each now moment, our choice, our action, our inaction, the way we choose to be, that is truly creating a new human experience. And we all get to decide what we want that to look like. And so when you hear a lot in the consciousness community, a lot of people say, what you put your attention on is what you create. And it is so true. What you are focused on, if what you are allowing your thoughts to dwell within, the energy that we're placing into things, that creates reality. And so that creates the world that we're living in, both individually and in a collective view. So I hope this has been easy for people to understand. Just wanted to speak a little bit about the ascension and my views on it and how I perceive all of it, and hope that these things will offer you internal permission slips for looking at your reality, at your inner world in a new way, from a new light of your awareness. So now I'm going to bring this conversation over to Starseeds. And I am just deeply grateful to be in this summit with all of these amazing Starseeds and all of you. So my understanding of Starseeds is that we are here to elevate the collective consciousness and vibration of the human experience and within our collective with our planet. And that can look like so many different things for so many different types of starseeds. As unique as we all are, we all come in with, specializations. We all come in with that toolkit, right? And each human on the planet actually incarnates with our own tools and our own specializations, our own codes and our own frequencies. And that is definitely the case for starseeds as well. It's just that most of us, when activated, or born activated, however you come in, I don't want to leave anyone out, we come in with a lot of cosmic codes and frequencies. And That can look different for different people. There are a lot of people that come in doing grid work. There are these beautiful grids. We can call it old paradigm and new paradigms, 3D and 5D. And they both hold intense meaning. And there is nothing wrong with the 3D grid or the 5D grid, but we do have guardians of the grid. We also have grid workers. We have a lot of people who come in with the ability to work on a very macro level. Many starseeds will come in with the ability to activate the ley lines within the earth and work with the energies of our planet, also working with clearing the energies that humanity has left around, kind of like spiritual cobwebs, energetic cobwebs. We have so many different people bringing through activations and, light language codes and frequencies and so many different things. And yeah, so I think at this point, I'm going to talk about you might be a starseed if. So if there's some of you out there right now that are wondering if you are starseeded, let's play a little game. This is something that we do in Awaken Ascending, but that's a Clubhouse Club, by the way, if you don't know what that is. So you might be a starseed if, as a small child, you were longing for home, this deep longing for home, even if you were surrounded by your family and your friends and in your home. You might be a starseed if, during dreams time, you were whisked away to this beautiful school with other kids and other people, and you were being taught about psychic abilities, telekinesis, being able to understand what being an empath is, receiving information about the galaxy and the universe. You might be a starseed if. You might be a starseed if you have had lots of dreams as a child and as an adult about being in movie scenes where they're similar to, say, Star Wars Cantina. We'll just use that as an example. But none of the beings within it looked anything like the beings in the Star Wars movie. You might be a starseed if, when you look out at the stars, you feel like there is so much more, that there is so much more out there that is just on the tip of your brain, on the tip of your consciousness. You might be a starseed if you have never really felt like you truly belonged in this human experience until you meet other starseeds. You might be a starseed. So there's something that's interesting about all of this with the starseed label, and some things that I've received from my soul team, who are the collective of beings that I communicate with. Many, many, many years ago, they explained to me, when I was asking about Earth and the universe, they explained to me that Earth is a newer planet within a newer solar system, within a newer galaxy of the universe. And they had also been telling me that we are infinite creator beings and that we are choosing to have a human experience. So if we are infinite creator beings that are choosing to have a human experience on Earth, odds are most of us, if not all of us, have had experiences far beyond and before, if we're going to put it in linear time, Earth was created. So from what I've been receiving and knowing as of late, it will not surprise me if we find out that every human on the planet is truly starseeded, that all of us have had experiences and lives and existences and expressions outside of the earthen plane, outside of Gaia and the human experience. So if you are wondering if you're a starseed, if you're feeling connected to the idea of starseededness, if you are feeling drawn to a particular race or species, regardless of what humans are saying about them, my suggestion to you is to dive into it. Ask yourself questions. What is my connection to the Pleiadians? I feel that I have a lot of love for them. And then pay attention to the signs and synchronicities and people and information that is brought into your world. And always, always, always listen to your spiritual discernment. Listen to your heart. Some people feel it as a gut knowing. Listen to that when you're hearing any information about any of the races of beings, any of the species that exist outside of here, outside of this earth experience. There's a lot of fear-based information out there that is being propagated because of the personification that humanity does. We do this with a lot of things. So I invite you to really check in and find what resonates with you and what doesn't. And only hold what resonates with you. Let everything else fall away. If it makes you feel anxious, nervous, unhappy, angry, like you're being treated unfairly, or you have, or humanity has, then odds are that's probably not your truth. And it may not be the truth, you know. So I invite everyone to really take a moment and look at your starseededness and ask questions if you're not sure if you are. Look at your specializations, look at your multidimensionality, really dive in. If that looks like reading books, hanging out in clubhouse rooms, hanging out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, coming to summits and conferences like this, dive deeply into your experience. But always, if you are searching externally, please make time to go within, because we hold all of the answers, wisdom, and knowledge that we seek. And yes, that can sometimes come about in an external way, but we always have the answers within. Okay, so now it's something that I'm really excited about. We are going to invite everyone's soul team in, and let me just explain what a soul team is. So a soul team is the short version for what I'm about to say, and feel free to adopt this terminology if you like. So for me, a soul team includes our high self, which is a higher aspect of our soul. It is a part of our consciousness that does not forget or go to sleep, and understands itself in unity and in oneness, and is kind of like the architect of the human experience that we're having right now. So within our soul team, we can have a high self. Most people call it higher self. I always take the ER off because I'm really not into that hierarchy energetics. So if you've heard it before as higher self, yes, that's what most people call it. There can also be high guides. From my experience and all the work that I've done and all of the people that I've interacted with, most people have at least 3 high guides, sometimes more. You can also have angelic beings who are essentially source light beings of love and unity. And most people have at least one angel. You can have many of those as well. And they can range within their, I don't want to use hierarchy words right now, but they can range within the existence of angelic presence, right? So you can have ascended masters that are on your soul team, people like Yeshua, Buddha, Kuan Yin, and beings like that. You can also have elementals. This could look like dragons, unicorns, fairies, and these elementals can be earth elementals, but they can also be more cosmic elementals, more universal. There are many different races within the species as well. And they play within different dimensions as we do. So you can also have high ancestors. These are enlightened ancestors. You can have other beings of light, dimensional beings, and I kind of group those all together as I call them star family or star beings, because there are so many different ways to express an experience within our universe alone, and within all of the dimensions, that I just, for a short way of saying it, call them star family. Someone had just asked in the chat, what is Clubhouse? It's an audio only app that you can interact on. So feel free to come play with us on Clubhouse. Sheila is about to have a club, Neil has a club, I do as well. And I'm sure, and Alan does as well. So within your soul team, you have a plethora of beings, and there can be so many more beings than what I'm speaking on right now. It really depends on who you have been, who you are, and who you're here to be as a human, and what your coming in to express and experience and co-create, right? So it can look all different ways to all different people. And what we're going to do today, I'm super excited. We are going to help you. If you do not already have a deep connection with your soul team and the beings on your soul team, I'm going to give you tools that you can use anytime. And they are super easy to do to deepen your connection with your soul team. And in particular today, we're going to focus on star family, the star beings within your soul team, just because we're at the Starseed Summit. But what I teach you today, what my team and I teach you today, will work for anyone on your team. So there are a few things to note before we get into what we call step in, step out, is when you begin interacting with the frequency of other beings, it is important to know your own energy. And this is not for any other reason other than to be able to recognize when another frequency comes in. So most people with your soul team, especially your guides and your angelics, when you begin to recognize their frequency, they're going to feel like you've known them forever, like you've known them your entire life. And that's because we all communicate with them on a regular basis daily, right? It's just most of the time that happens in a very unconscious way. So what we're doing today is we're stepping into a conscious relationship with our soul team. And this is like the first steps on how to do it. So with knowing your own energy, another thing that's really important is following your intuition, your signs, your synchronicities, and always holding gratitude with all of your connections. So intuition, when we follow our intuition, that activates all of our soul senses, the clairs, the psychic ability, things like that. So we begin to open and add more light into what I call soul senses, because it is all one system. They are not separate. So the empathic ability, the consciousness communication, the ability to see into things and read energy, that's all part of our soul senses. It's one system. And as we follow our intuition, that begins to kind of charge up and add light to those aspects of ourselves. So it causes awakening and expansion. And gratitude is like the secret ingredient for everything. Gratitude is this, I mean, it tells the universe, yes, please, I want more, right? So, and it brings almost that miraculous energy in. So the more you can spend in gratitude with any of this connection, the better. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do an invitation. So those of you that have already connected with your team and have a deep connection with them, I invite you to do the invitation as well. You never know, there might be beings within your soul team that need permission to be able to come step forward and connect with you. And for those of you that are wondering, your soul team are the beings who have been with you from before birth. They're your friends and family. They will be here to guide you all throughout your life, and they will be here when this human form is crossed or left, right? So with the invitation, let's just start with this. So close your eyes if you are in a safe place to do it. If you're driving, please don't close your eyes. If you're doing something unsafe, please don't close your eyes. But let's have everybody close your eyes and repeat after me aloud or in your head, whatever you are comfortable with. This is not going to be super formal, just FYI. Hey, soul team. I invite you to have a deeper connection. I invite you to be loud and clear. I invite you to communicate with me loudly and clearly. And there you have it. So you've invited every single person on your team, every single being on your team. So once we do this, there's also something else that my team is reminding me to bring in right now. So there's something that they've been explaining for a very long time, and this might be counter to some of the things that you've heard, and that's okay. I invite you to hold an open heart and an open mind and receive this information and feel how it feels for you. So we have a lot of fear around all the beings that aren't particularly high vibratory. And my team has actually been, they've been training me and teaching me and guiding me on how to interact with all beings, One, they've explained that all beings are of source, right? So they've explained that everything in existence is source. And they've explained in a way, like if you look at a musical scale, middle C would be a neutrality line. Above middle C, there's a neutral buffer area, and below there's a neutral buffer area. So we'll think of this as lower vibrating and higher vibrating, lower and higher. Neutral is in the middle, right? So within this neutral zone in the center, they're not that different in vibration. The lower you get, obviously the lower the vibration, right? And what they've been explaining to me about the human experience is that when we go through our life the way we've been taught by one another to express and experience, to hold on to our trauma, to hold on to beliefs our entire life instead of allowing them to evolve and shift and change easily and effortlessly. As we evolve and shift and change and grow and expand. When we are still holding a lot of resentment and anger, a lot of the feelings of not truly knowing ourself in oneness and not truly loving ourselves on a deep level, that means that we are holding some low-hanging fruit that is outside of the realm of our awareness, right? So we're not conscious of it. When a lower vibrating being comes into our reality, they are coming in to simply be a messenger. So what we are to do in that time, from what my team has explained to me, is to thank them, of course. Thank you for bringing this message into me. I am so deeply grateful and thankful for that. And now you may take your leave and send them off with a burst of unconditional love. And then go within. What are they showing me about myself? Because what my team has said is that we are invisible to them. If we are at a frequency and a vibration that they are not resonant with. So they cannot see us if we are holding a vibration that is not resonant with the frequency and the vibration that they hold. So that's an opportunity to go within. Okay, what is it time for me to release? What is it time for me to heal? What is this showing me about what I am holding? How am I being encouraged to step into a new level, a new layer of consciousness, right? And it's interesting because once we start doing that, we're now taking an active role again with the conscious creation, right? And our reality begins to reflect that. So I would love to kind of deflate with a pin all of the fear that everyone has about lower vibrating beings. We don't have to let them hang out and run amok in our lives and in the lives of our friends and family. So what we can do is we can actually say, okay, I hear you, I receive you, take your leave, go on with love. If they hang out and stick around, it's because they want an exchange. That's something that I've experienced so many times, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well. So in that case, I just open up the love light. I ask them, are you here for an exchange? They say yes. I open up the love light. What the source light pours through me, and I watch them transform and move to their next phase. It's not always that, they are here to harm us. Sometimes they're just being who they are, right? And sometimes they're ready. They're ready to transform into whatever their next version is. And because of our infinite creator energy that we hold and that we are, we're able to assist with things like this. And some of us, that's part of our specializations. So yeah, I'm excited about doing this with you guys. We're going to talk about filtering real quick. This is the reason I was speaking about the low-hanging fruit in a new way of viewing, all of the other beings within the dimensional experiences. So my soul team says, and this is especially important with the star races and the star beings, my soul team says that we should, specifically the star beings on my soul team, that we should ask and request for filtering from our soul team right now. And the reason they're saying this is because Earth is a very interesting place right now to a lot of beings out there. I heard many years ago, I think it was like 2012, my team told me that there were ascended masters from other universes that were assisting us right now, which is pretty amazing if you think about it, because I'm sure we have a lot of our own, right? So, and I know a handful, but I bet there's a whole lot more. So with the filtering, it's a way for us to learn how to trust our own experience and our own self and our own team. It brings us into that trust energy. So okay, they're bringing something else in. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place right now. They're bringing something else in. Okay, so they're bringing in that the reason we're asking for the filtering is that there are beings who are not yet on the guest list, and they use guest list because we used to hang out in clubs a lot when I was younger. But there are beings who are not yet on the guest list, and these beings, though they might not have a malevolent intent, they may just not understand the human experience. And what they're saying is, maybe they don't have an emotional body. Maybe they don't understand the nuances of being human. Things that would harm us may not harm them. So an investigative interaction with one of them or a group of them could be quite traumatic for us, right? So they're also wanting me to bring in that we are through our free will, we can invite beings in. Even if they're not interacting with us, they can come and interact with others. So it's important to filter during this time period. They're saying it won't be forever, but for right now, filtering is good. So to do the filtering, it's super easy, and you can repeat after me. Soul team, I request that you filter any and all interactions, communications, and connection with any being and non-being. I ask that this filtering is done for my highest and best good and the highest and best good of all. And the all, of course, is everything in creation, right? So now we have just requested that our soul team filters all interactions that we have with any being that wants to come in and communicate with us. And this now gives you the assurance that anyone that's coming, there's a reason for them being there. Not that there wouldn't be anyway, but it's that trust level that we can create. And also with star beings, I mean, I don't know, some of you, if you can peer beyond the dimensions, just take a look. Take a look outside of Earth right now. There are so many beings out there. There's ships upon ships upon ships in all of the dimensions. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I can see all different beings. It's like they're out there with popcorn right now, just, waiting to see. So to see what we're doing. And one of the reasons it's so interesting is that humanity, and this is something that my Arcturian friends actually, my Arcturian people in my collective have actually told me, humanity is doing this as a collective, right? So we're choosing to ascend from a very dense experience into an experience with much more light. And we're choosing to do it as a collective, not only with ourselves, but with one another, with our co-inhabitants, and with our planet. And this is something that happens within us and is reflected out, right? So remember, we talked about that. So what we're doing now, they're saying that the Arcturians are the only race that I'm aware of that has done this within the universe, but they did it from a higher dimension in an understanding of unity, right? So we're doing it from forgetfulness into unity, right? And this is quite interesting to everyone. They say most races and most species, when they are in their ascension period, they're doing it as individuals and small groups. So I think it's really beautiful. And if you know of another race that has done this as a collective, feel free to share it with me. I'm excited to hear about that as well. They've told me that they're the only, but if there are others out there, I'm happy to hear about it. So that's another reason that it's so interesting. I can't read what she's saying, but I'll hopefully someone in the back chat will answer you. So let's do the step in, step out. I think this is going to be really interesting for a lot of you. Those of you that are already very adept at communicating with your beings, this is a way to hone your ability to really sense into those frequencies, right? And for communicating with star beings, there are some things that we should know. They communicate via consciousness. So some of them will use words, right? They'll use human language, I should say. Most of them have been communicating via consciousness since their creation, since their birth or their creation, right? So this looks like different things for different races, but the consciousness communication is very similar. They might play movies in your mind's eye. They might bring up images. They might pull up memories that you have where you learned something or there was something like an overarching emotion or message in that experience. They might send you download streams that feel like huge packets of information. They might send you streams of codes and frequencies that you can see visually as well as feel and sometimes hear. They might send you tones and frequencies. They might run energy through your body. They might run energy in particular places of your body, activating your technology. Often they will do some sort of physical activation and upgrade to really allow the streams to be kind of smoothed and blended as they come in. And they are essentially sending us frequencies. Often the beings on our team will braid frequencies and send the message together. So with step in and step out, you're going to be able to sense, see, know, and feel who is communicating with you. And this will also assist with the types of connection and communication that you're receiving. Often this deep connection leads to light language or channeling. And if you are already channeling and doing light language, then this will just help you hone your abilities and your innate ability to connect in and be a conduit for these frequencies. Okay, so everyone, if you are in a safe place, close your eyes. We're just going to take a few minutes to raise our vibration and release any stress or tension within our bodies. And that is going to look like a very easy way to do this. So just take a deep breath in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. And if you can't breathe in through your nose, it's okay. Go ahead and breathe in and out through your mouth. There's no hard rules to this. And as we are breathing in light. Beautiful, crystalline, rainbow, diamond light. And with each breath in through our nose, we're allowing that light to move throughout our body and energy body. And it will transmute any fear, anxiety, tension, stress that we're holding within our body. As the light breathes in and travels throughout, it is balancing and unifying all of our energetic fields. Just breathing that light in and exhaling the light to where it is just one light field all around us and within us. And when you've breathed to where your body is feeling lighter and brighter, I want you to imagine an old school radio knob in front of you. This is vintage stuff. And for those of you that have never seen one, it's a knob that spins, but it clicks. Each time you click it, you spin it to the right. It clicks as it locks into place in the next notch. And on this knob, to the left is going to be 0. To the right is going to be 100. And all of the numbers are in between. And as we turn this knob, we are intending and focusing on raising our vibration. And now we click the knob, turning it from 0 to 20. And as we do, our vibration begins to elevate and raise, feeling lighter, Clicking the knob again, 20 to 40, our vibration is elevating even more. We feel our consciousness beginning to expand. 40 to 60, clicking again, the vibration is beginning to raise. You might feel the energetics running through your body, raising in frequency. You can see more light. You can feel more light. 60 to 80, we are singing. Our vibration is elevated so, so, so high. You might hear tones. You might hear and feel the vibration. 80 to 100, and we are immensely light. The intensity is raising via our illumination. We are so bright, we are so fine, and we are so high. And sit just for a moment and feel the difference in that elevation of vibration. Recognize how simple it is to raise our vibration. It's super easy. And when you are ready, we're going to ask the first being within the soul teams. Nope, I skipped ahead a minute. Soul teams, we request that all of you step forward. Thank you. Star being one, we request that you step forward into everyone's energetic fields. And what you will do now is you will visualize your star being touching nose to nose with you, even if they don't have a nose. You can see, feel, know, or intend that this is occurring. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Everything is perfect with how you receive it. So we are now touching nose to nose with star being one. Star being one, we request that you turn the volume up on your energy, making yourself louder, dialing it up, making your presence known in a way that is easily recognized. And now what we do is we focus in on how you are feeling. Have you noticed that your thoughts have shifted? Are they slowing? Are there any thoughts? How are you feeling right now? Are you feeling supported? Are you feeling loved? Are you feeling joy? What's happening within your energetic fields? Are you feeling sensations within your physical form, within your body? Maybe pulsations, maybe like energy is running through. How are you feeling? And from here, we're going to ask star being number one to quickly and easily, with effortless ease, I should say, give the illusion of removing all of your energy from each of their energetic bodies. Stepping completely out. Some of you might have felt that shift quickly and instantly. Others, it might take a minute, might take seconds. It might take you recognizing how you are balancing. How does it feel? Are you shifting? Is your emotional body shifting back to something that feels more like you? Are your thoughts beginning to repattern into something that is more like you? Just give yourself a moment to feel your own energy, feel your own mental and emotional bodies. And from here, we're going to ask star being number one to step forward nose to nose again quickly. And we are all focused on our energetic body again. Are you able to sense when their energy comes into yours? It's so amazing. You're doing a great job. And if not, it's okay. This can sometimes take practice for some people, and that's okay. You are exactly how you are supposed to be in this now moment. Star being, we ask that you turn your volume up even louder on your frequency and your vibration. Are you hearing sounds? Are you hearing tones? Are you feeling the vibration and frequencies in your energy field? Some of you might already be receiving channeled information, and if so, that's beautiful. This is how it begins. Star being number one, we thank you for playing this game with us, and we ask that you step your energy back to your usual position. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So you can see, you can do this with your eyes open or closed. I find that most people with their eyes closed, they sense deeper into their own energies and into the energies that we consider subtle. They're not subtle. They're actually very intense energetics. They have very intense energetics rather, but the way that we perceive them is subtle because we're often in ours and we're often very loud. So with this, you can practice this as many times as you like with this particular being. I recommend that you do it with this star being one. If they give you a name, that's amazing. But I recommend that you do it repeatedly and that you do it until you absolutely have that frequency down, like as if it is, your own. And then request for star being two to step forward and do it the same way with star being two, as many times as it takes or as few as you choose. So with star being two, once you have that frequency down and you know it and you've got it, it's memorized in your heart, you understand who they are as an essence. Their name is their frequency, right? As is ours. So once that happens, then I invite you, and they've all been informed of this. So all of your soul teams, they all know how this works. I invite you to ask them to do step in, step out, surprise. And when they do this, they're going to pick who comes in for you, and you can recognize who they are, star being one, star being two. And if you only have one star being on your team, feel free to do this with your high guides, with the ascended masters, with the angels, whomever. There is no right or wrong way of inviting people in within your soul team to play in your experience. So, and to have a deeper connection with them so that you were able to consciously communicate, because that is where this all leads. So when you're inviting them in the surprise, they're going to choose who comes in. And you never know, they might come in twice in a row, or they might switch it up on you. So the idea is to go through your entire soul team one by one by one, getting to know their frequency. And the more you do this, the more adept you will become at recognizing the differences in the frequency, the subtle differences within species or races, and within different types of beings, different types of source expressions. And from here, there are many more steps. And I'll just commit right now to recording some YouTube videos with multiple steps, or maybe creating a course for it. I'll put something out there for you guys, that you will have that. And also we do this every month in Awaken Ascending on Clubhouse. We have a deeper dive into this every month within Awaken Ascending on Clubhouse. So feel free to come find us and hang out with us. And I think that's it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm so deeply grateful to be here with you. And thank you. Thank you for being. Thank you for being human. And yeah, I'm ready for Q&A. I would love to see the chat. Sheila, Neil, Alan. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad it was helpful to you.
Hello. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
That was amazing. When star B number one came in, I could just feel that energy and the clicking, and it was fun. Let me scan through real quick and see. I don't see any hands up, but I am sure if I go back far enough, we're going to have some questions. See, Eric says, we're all made of stardust on 3D as above, so below. Therefore, we are all star beings or star seeds. We all share the same atoms on a 3D like oxygen. Therefore, we are all one. Any thoughts or feelings?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think I said that earlier. I kind of alluded to that. Yes, it was Eric, right? Yes. My sense is that there are just people who haven't been activated, and as the coming, years come forward, I really sense that we'll have more and more and more activated walk-ins, starseeds. I mean, I feel like walk-ins are starseeds too. I think it's just a label that we've placed on it, really. And really, is Earth our primary home? If there are so many other ways to express out there, it is right now for the human, right?
All an experience. It's all an
exactly.
experience. So could you please put your contact information in the chat for people that would like to get a hold of you, whether they want to, set up a formal session, or maybe if they have questions. If you could put that in the chat, that would be amazing. Bridget, thank you so much for being here. It was so fun to play.
Thanks for trusting. Thanks for trusting and being part of this. And I have to say, Bridget is on Clubhouse a lot. Look for her, Bridget Renee Holliday. Follow her, join Clubhouse. Neil has a room on Clubhouse. I have a room on Clubhouse. So are we going to be streaming the panels to Clubhouse tonight, Neil?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are.
Great.
Yay.
Great. Well,
Thank
Bridget,
you, Neil. Thank you.
Bridget's on there.
Thank you, Sheila.
Every day, pretty much, with a teaching like this.
I have a question, but I think
yes, please.
I think maybe we'll wait for the panel. I don't know, but I'm just going to say it right now, and then you can kind of think about it. The whole concept, mainstream science and says it, right? Physicists say it, and also spiritual, the spiritual realm is that energy does not get created; it just gets recycled, right? Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, even earth seeds that have been here forever, if their energy was always in existence, because time isn't a linear construct the way we perceive it here, then that means they're simultaneously living those lives because their energy has always been around. So therefore, even if you've been here, because you only remember in this world of forgetfulness the time that you've been here, you are currently living a starseed life, right? So
yes,
maybe we can ask that to the panel and get some input. But go ahead, Bridget, real quick.
Oh, Neil, I love this question. Yes. So the way I perceive it is, if you can imagine a big pillar of white light, right? This is the soul. Mm-hmm. This is the core soul, right? Then you can do like the little Christmas trees. Like if you're drawing the little stick figure Christmas trees, you can have these little streams of white light coming off from this big column in all different places. And they're going to different, what I call source expressions. They're going to different ways of expressing. So it could be a physical life. It could be a collective consciousness. It could be all these different things. It could be a Pleiadian, a Lyran, an Arcturian, a Syrian, all of the different things. These are all happening simultaneously. But because of the human experience, we forget, right? And we forget ourselves in oneness. And I actually have memories and an understanding and an awareness of my parallel lives. I can access them, and it's because I've requested to be able to do that. So I can communicate and I can ask, and a lot of what's very interesting is within the soul team, especially in the star beings, a lot of the star beings within your soul team will be what we consider parallel versions of you. So, and that is what this is. We're not talking about the duplication of Earth, parallel versions of you. Like for me, it would be like 20 Bridgets, right? We're talking about parallel versions of you that share the same soul. It's a fractalization of soul. That's how I perceive it, at least.
That's good.
Way to
There's a quick question for you, Sheila. Can you be a walk-in and a starseed?
Oh, absolutely. Because, many of the walk-ins that I have talked with have remembrances of being an Andromedan or being an Arcturian or being a Palladian, wherever. And so, walk-in is just a definition of when the soul arrived, really. Yeah. But our souls are eternal. Our souls are having multidimensional parallel lives as we are speaking right now. And so it's very easy to conceive that if this soul is ready to depart, that another one, which is already an aspect of you somewhere, is ready to come in and to have this human experience. And I do also want to say that it's really a significant time right now, because, the veil is almost like non-existent. And so this summit is happening not just with beginning of the Mayan, did you say it was a Mayan calendar?
Yeah, it was the galactic sun. It represents
Yeah, the galactic sun, and we're having the solar flares, but we also have a very thin veil. And so people like Bridget that are coming on, if we actually take this information, and Rita, and we actually take all of this and apply it, I can see us really using this summit as a springboard to really launch ourselves into a much higher frequency.
And that's what we've been doing these last two. I think everyone here is about coming and activating us from another level of awareness. So it is today and tomorrow is a springboard. So we're springing. Thank you, Bridget.
Thanks, Bridget.
Thank you.